So, who do you like on Sunday?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mrs. Simmons, I see you every morning when I deliver the President's Daily Brief, and I have it on excellent authority that you went 3 for 3 last weekend.
Must be a slow day if you have time to talk football. Lions, by 9. Morning, Oval Office. He is, yes. It's for you, Mr. Reese.
Carl, I'm about to go in.
Sir, a little over an hour ago, Colombian Air Force shot down an American plane near the Peru border. 2 known casualties. Colombians thought they were drug dealers.
Who were they?
Apparently, missionaries.
The Colombian military can't find their own ass. How did they find that plane?
They didn't, sir. We found it for them.
Director Pierce. President will see you now.
Jackson, it was a hell of an exit line the other night.
You saw me. I was just feeling sorry for myself, and I was drunk. So.
Your brother didn't have to die. How does that come out of sorry, upset, and drunk?
Could we talk about this later?
What did you mean?
I have a meeting with Fabrizio's.
We can talk on the way.
Joshua, I may have to leave work early today. I was served this morning at 7 a.m. I was in a towel.
Trouble?
No trouble is getting my mind around the fact that there's a boogie burger inside the CIA.
Oh, divorce.
The motion for discovery preparatory to our property settlement, it means that I have to show employment records, pay stubs. I don't think that they believe that I've become a graphic artist for the Department of Commerce.
We'll get you a lawyer.
I have a lawyer, but
We'll get you a cleared lawyer, one who understands what it's like to work for the Department of Commerce.
Cup of coffee, please, Claire. And I'm expecting Leslie Turnbull from Public Affairs. When she gets here...
I'm here.
Just the coffee, Claire.
Here we shot down a couple of missionaries.
I don't believe we shot down anybody.
Good.
Our exposure comes from the fact that we had a plane in the area.
Just passing by.
It alerted the Colombian Air Force that the plane that they shot down was suspicious.
Don't forget, sir. Senate Oversight Committee today at 4. Quarterly budget review. You're testifying.
Thank you. Is this story gonna break by 4?
Good bet.
I guess I won't be answering very many questions about the budget.
Where am I? The agency never confirms or denies its involvement in intelligence gathering operations, or straight no comment?
Which will play worse?
Both. It's better to give something out. It's not the crime that kills you, it's the cover-up.
There was no crime.
Do we know that?
We're still gathering information.
Thank you, Miss Turnbull. We know where to find you. Who's running that damn program?
It's a joint operation. We run surveillance flights with contract crews. This morning, one of them spotted a small plane that fit the profile of a drug runner, flying low, evasive maneuvers. Our people notified the Colombians to check it out.
And the Colombians checked it out with automatic weapons fire.
There's recon video on the spotter plane's nose. We'll have that tape in a few hours.
About the time I'm being barbecued by the Senate Oversight Committee. Those flights are suspended.
But, sir, we're just closing in on an important objective. Pablo Esperanza. His guerrilla group is a threat to government authority all through the border area, but we have been tracking him with our planes. They carry signal intercept for cell and shortwave, run infrared, direction finding.
We sold those flights to Congress as an anti-drug operation.
Esperanza's in bed with the major cocaine growers. They pay taxes to him, and he protects their plantation.
And uses the money to build up his army.
The committee's not gonna want to hear I'm keeping those flights running to protect the Colombian government.
Sir, you can't stop the flights.
Is that an order, Miss Diallo?
I'm sorry, but a dumb mistake like this shouldn't
The
jeopardize...
success of your operation?
I'm not after Esperanza to get a raise, sir.
How much time do you need to find him?
A few days. A week on the outside.
You get till midnight.
Morning, Mr. Borovinsky. Reading anything interesting?
Wars and politics. Politics and wars. You wouldn't happen to have one
Smoked all mine for breakfast. You set up the meeting with our friend?
Yes, no.
He has the information we need?
He takes a delivery schedule for the nuclear material with him to Europe tonight. He has it with him.
If he does, we'll pay you $50,000.
Are you insane?
Not good enough?
Too good. I'll take it.
See you at noon.
How's it going with Borovinsky?
No.
No?
I'm still waiting for an explanation about Eric.
Man, you're relentless.
Yeah, well, when someone in my family dies, I get a little obsessive.
You know, he was overseas in Kosovo.
And?
There was a war going on.
And you said he didn't have to die.
Matt, I don't know anything.
Terry? Ms. Fabrizi needs a new cover document, U.S. Strategic Studies Institute.
Economic analyst. It should sync with Matt Callan's cover.
Okay. Looks like you were a State Department political officer, an anthropology graduate student, and a whaling treaty negotiator.
Free Willy.
We have to find Esperanza by midnight.
In the past 4 months, he's been spotted here, local cartel's biggest refinery. Here, training ground for his troops. The village he grew up in. How many planes do you want to deploy?
All of them.
Here you are.
Mr. Arapov, it's a pleasure to meet you. This is Miss Fontana, also from the Institute.
Sir, I'll be back to take you up.
How do you protect me?
Any way you need to be protected.
I have the schedule of shipments, times, drop-off points,
Means of transport?
everything. If anyone wants to see me with you people,
We're just 4 diplomats having lunch, right, Arkady?
Yeah, friendly lunch.
We appreciate what you're doing, Mr. Arapov. Nobody wants to see enriched uranium getting shipped to terrorists.
somebody in my government does.
Somebody corrupt.
Somebody who can have me killed. And not just me. What happens after I give you the schedule and you interfere with the shipments? I must be suspect.
There are different ways shipments are interfered with. Trucks break down, trains derail, accidents happen. We can't let the uranium get into the wrong hands.
I want to come to America. A new name, a house, a car, an income. That is my price.
We can do that if your information is good.
Today,
Not today. Tonight you're flying to Europe to deliver the schedule, right?
at 10 o'clock. The embassy driver picks me up at my apartment at 8.
Then you have to be there at 8, everything normal, or they'll change the schedule, and it'll be worthless to us and to you.
Я могу вам доверить?
Они меня сделали богатым человеком.
Главное, в моей жизни. Okay, it's very warm, huh? Okay. Okay. I will... Leave.
I think he's dead.
Story's out. It's on the Colombian Wire. Police report from Putumayo.
What do they have?
2 Americans dead, 3 planes. The missionaries, Colombian fighter. 3rd plane seen by eyewitnesses.
3rd plane?
We can still get out in front of this. Make the story about us fighting the drug war, trying to help.
When's the story gonna reach the States?
As soon as someone from the AP Latin American desk realizes what it is. A couple hours, maybe less.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Channel 8.
I'd say less.
The reports of the deaths of 2 Americans, an adult male and a child, have now been confirmed. Colombian authorities are promising to investigate why the missionary flight was shot down. There's been no comment yet by American officials, but for several years, the Central Intelligence Agency has cooperated with the Colombian Air Force in patrolling the skies against drug smugglers.
Sir, line 1. It's the White House.
Stopping large quantities of cocaine from reaching the United States. It's also been accompanied by occasional controversy, with critics charging that insufficient safeguards were in place to prevent something like today's tragedy from occurring. The victims have been identified as Tom Stewart and his 10-year-old son, Mark, members of a missionary family from the Missouri-based Church of the Cross on the Hill. The surviving members, Mrs. Jennifer Stewart and her daughter, Sarah, were reportedly en route to the United States for a vacation when the tragedy occurred. Unconfirmed reports of the involvement of the CIA continue to circulate in Bogota, Washington. Eyewitnesses in Colombia report seeing a 3rd unmarked plane in the vicinity of the doomed missionary flight. The Colombian government has not yet responded to inquiries about that plane. However, one official U.S. source has identified it as belonging to the CIA. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops. We now return you to regularly...
Which of our trusted partners in this operation would be that source? DEA?
It's going to be the game now, sir. Point to the other guy.
We can't point back.
We have friends who can. The talk shows are all going to be loading up on talking heads.
Congressman Forrester will take our side.
Coppa likes him.
What about Quinn?
Oh, he's just gonna love this.
As your predecessor, sir, he's going to be very visible if he wants to be.
He'll want to be.
We could reach out to him.
Be my guest. And find out where the widow is and what she's saying. And where's that damn video from the plane?
Another cup of coffee for
No,
your friend?
thank. Where you been?
Making arrangements for him.
He's not supposed to be here.
Well, we'll get him and his briefcase home by 8. Nobody knows who's seen us or we've seen what's in the briefcase.
I'm getting up.
Not yet.
This man, he's having a heart attack. I'm a doctor.
I'll call 911. Yes, we need an ambulance at Cayuga restaurant corner of Matoma.
Let me get him on the floor.
Flight P23 is picking up a transmission, Delta sector, north of the plantation.
Could be Esperanza. Divert P24 and 5 to the same coordinates, see if we can triangulate.
Says he's sending someone to pick up flour and beer. Second guy says he doesn't have enough for his own men. Says it's not a request, it's an order and have the supplies ready. They're gone.
Voice match?
Jesus Montero, he commands Esperanza's 2nd Battle Group. Ramirez, first name unknown, foot soldier, joined up 6 months ago. No Esperanza.
Which one gave the order?
That one.
A raw recruit wouldn't give an order to a battle group commander.
Unless Esperanza's told him to do so. Okay, let's check the static in between the speeches and just have a closer look.
So do you think your husband will be difficult to deal with?
He had not 1, but 2 affairs behind my back while I was running the design company that we owned together. And now he wants to take all of its assets. Difficult? I'd say yes. But Joshua says that you have experience with this kind of thing.
Partly thanks to Joshua. He was such a satisfied customer. He's used me twice.
2 divorces?
Being a spook definitely puts a strain on a marriage.
I wasn't a spook when Jeff and I were together.
But you are now. And if he finds out, he may try to use it against you.
How?
Blackmail. You give him everything, or he tells the world. So we gotta play hardball with this in order to protect your cover.
What do I tell his lawyers? They're already asking for pay stubs.
Well,
You make passports, don't you?
Been a long time, Carl.
Yes, sir. Thanks for seeing me on short notice.
I haven't been your boss for quite a while. You can call me Robert.
All right. Robert?
Frankly, I'm a little surprised to see you. I would have thought you had your hands full, what with this morning's events.
Actually, that's why I'm here.
Circling the wagons, are we? How's Pierce treating you?
All right.
Really? He sends you out on a fool's errand like this one?
I know you don't like him, sir.
I don't like him or dislike him. I dislike what he did to me in the CIA.
I know that regardless of what happened at the end of your tenure there, you're still loyal to the agency.
So you want me to go on the evening news and tell the world the CIA didn't shoot down that plane? And if they did, they didn't mean it. And if they meant it, it was for an excellent reason, which I'm not at liberty to divulge.
You, of all people, should understand that it's not fair to blame the agency.
It's not about blame. It's about competence. If Pierce didn't have you as his executive assistant, he would have fallen on his face a long time ago.
I don't think so, sir.
He's on his way out. What do you think of Senator Hallett?
He keeps us on our toes on the Oversight Committee.
He's tired of being the one asking questions after these messes occur. He understands intelligence.
He wants to be president.
He'd settle for Director of Central Intelligence. I told him you should be there with him, with a title to reflect what you really do there. Say, Deputy Director of Operations.
There are a dozen people ahead of me for DDO.
Not necessarily, Carl.
How is he doing? Dead as a doornail.
Over here.
Notified Metro Fire, possible hazard.
You guys from DC General?
St. Barnaby's.
I'm Dr. Finetti, cardiology, DC General.
I'm not hearing anything. How long were you compressing?
Just a few minutes.
They can do more for me in the truck. Let's hoist him, Bill.
This ambulance is from my hospital. Since I've already started treating this man, I think we'll just...
Doc, the guy's a stiff. Hey, we'll take it from here, thanks. You know the rules, pal. We get here first, we're gonna deal with him. Not lose my license so you can pull a fee.
Look, they're from his hospital.
You don't want us to take him? Fine. I mean, he's in no rush anyway. Let's just sit here, wait for the cops, and let them call the morgue wagon.
Okay. He goes with you.
And who are you in this?
He's my uncle.
We found Esperanza, sir.
He was using one of his men to go on the radio for him. We identified Esperanza's voice in the background.
As soon as his man comes back on the air, we can DF his location.
We will have him, if we keep the planes flying just a little longer.
Sir, video from the spotter plane.
Is it good to give to the media? The Senate. The widow.
We haven't seen it yet.
You was picking up anything?
That same bunch of guerrillas. I'll pass it on to the Colombian
So
military.
much for this mission being about the war on drugs.
Sir, Esperanza is personally responsible for protecting a major source of
Who's that
cocaine.
guy?
What's he doing?
Here it comes.
Santa Clarita, we have a possible bandito.
Roger, Scott 1. We have a fighter near you.
You have a tail number on him?
Can't make it out.
Here come the Colombians.
I have bandito inside.
Take a look. Identify only.
Santa Clarita, this is word 1-4. Do you read?
Word 1-4?
It's coming back.
Sounds like a kid.
Get in the back and buckle up.
Fighter, what the hell are you doing?
Santa Clarita, do you read? This is word 1-4.
I am engaged.
Get in the back now.
Fighter, stand down.
Dad?
Terminate! Terminate!
Daddy! Daddy!
Our guys told the Colombians it was a possible bandito.
They also told them not to shoot.
And by the time you get to Daddy, who's gonna remember that?
Who do we have to show that to?
Senate committee eventually. We don't have to show it to anybody today.
Good.
Mr. Reese, you have a call.
Sir, the widow's in Arlington. She arrived at her parents' house an hour ago.
Reese, has she talked to the press yet?
They haven't found her yet. We can still get to her first.
Not with this.
Well, somebody should talk to her and explain what we can and just offer her help.
How about you?
Me. I'm an analyst.
You've been wanting to get in the field, right? Get over there and analyze the situation.
You could explain to her why we're running those flights.
You want me to lobby her while they're picking up pieces of her husband and child?
Sir? Matt Callan was meeting with a sensitive source when that source had a fatal heart attack. Terrific. Body's in the D.C. system. Callan wants to know if we can have a word with the coroner's office, kick the body out of the system.
We ask him for a favor with a dead body. He's going to think we made it that way and call a press conference to tell the world.
That's a no.
Tell him he'll have to handle it another way. We'll send help.
Director Pierce, you should see this.
What now?
Entirely from this kind of operation?
Oh, that's nonsense. Nobody's saying we shouldn't be fighting a war against drugs, Charlie. But the horrible tragedy this morning makes it pretty clear we aren't doing it right. South America's a quagmire. We need competent people running our programs down there.
Well, you really took care of him, didn't you, Carl?
It's time to leave for the Senate, sir.
Why not?
Again, thank you very much, Mr. Quinn, for stopping by this evening.
Nice to see you again.
Where's the dead guy?
In the morgue.
You have his ID?
Passport. Fell out of his pocket in a restaurant. You gonna be able to do this without damaging it?
Sure. You gonna be able to open that briefcase without damaging it?
Who's he gonna be?
Henry DeLong. You're Peter DeLong. What are we looking for?
A detailed plan for delivery of nuclear weapons to terrorists?
Which one is it?
Beats me. You don't happen to read Uzbek? Get Borovinsky. I'm gonna see about Uncle Henry.
We're not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here.
Nobody knows we're here, Arkady.
We need for you to take a look at the papers.
Not here. They might be looking for him.
They can't hurt him. He's dead.
They can hurt me. I'll take a look at the papers in my apartment.
No, we have to keep them near his body just in case.
In case they find him. That's what I said.
Look, you're being paid. This is what you're being paid for. Let's go.
Being paid for reminding us everything for you.
Mrs. Stewart.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm Jordan Hopkins from the State Department. And let me start by saying I'm very sorry for your loss.
Come in.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth before this committee, so help you God?
I do.
I'm afraid we got you up here on false pretenses today, Mr. Pierce. We'll talk about your budget another time. Right now, what all of us want to know is, what the hell happened down there?
We knew there were dangers. My husband was bitten by a snake. My son caught malaria. He was still on medication.
Thank you.
Just never thought it would be something like this.
What happened this morning? The government is conducting an investigation and will accept full responsibility for whatever part it may have played. And in the meantime, I've been sent here to see if there's anything that you need, or if there's anything that we can,
Do you have a family, Mr. Hopkins?
2 children.
And your wife?
She died of cancer 4 years ago.
Does it get any easier?
A little.
These planes we're flying down there, Director, how would you characterize their mission?
We're there in an advisory capacity. The planes provide support to the Colombians for their war on drugs.
But their war isn't just against drugs, is it, sir?
If you're referring to the anti-government guerrillas...
That's exactly what I'm referring to. You remember the war in Vietnam?
I was in the war in Vietnam.
As I recall, we started there in an advisory capacity.
With all due respect, Senator, I do not believe, nor do I think this administration believes, that what went wrong a quarter of a century ago should prevent us from coming to the aid of threatened democracies in our own hemisphere today.
By supporting their war on drugs?
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Senator Hallett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, Director Pierce, this committee has a number of concerns.
He's Peter DeLong.
Henry, I'm Peter.
Well, the funeral home will have to provide transportation for the remains.
We have a hearse outside.
Mrs. DeLong will have to sign the papers.
He was never married.
Somebody besides you will have to sign them.
If I take them, my mother will sign. His sister.
I'll just check with my supervisor.
He can't find it.
What?
Borovinsky's been through all the papers in the briefcase twice. He says it's not there.
Okay, Mr. DeLong, you can have your uncle just as soon as the medical examiner completes his autopsy.
We were there for a reason. Some of the villages, before we got there, people were lost. Their souls were lost. Hello? No, I don't. No, not now, I'm sorry. A reporter. Guess I'll be getting a lot of those calls.
There's a man of God dead, Mr. Pierce, and a little boy, his son. The American people are going to want a full accounting.
I don't blame them, Senator. They'll get it.
You've ordered the investigation of these spy planes?
Yes. But we already know the primary mistake there was made by the Colombians.
Really? Did our people make a positive identification of the suspect plane's tail number before they called the Colombians? Did they monitor all appropriate radio channels, military and civilian?
We don't have the answers to all those questions yet.
Then I assume, Director Pierce, we all assume that you've shut down these flights until you do. It's a simple question, sir. Have you stopped those flights or not? You are under oath.
Senator, I have ordered the flight suspended.
I appreciate your coming over, Mr. Hopkins. Right now, I don't even know what I need. And as far as what I want, that's just something the State Department can't provide.
Mrs. Stewart, my name isn't Hopkins. I don't work for the State Department. I work for a Central Intelligence Agency.
I don't understand.
You've heard the news reports that one of our planes alerted the Colombian Air Force, told them that your husband might be a drug runner. Those reports are true. Those reports are true.
Sir! We found him, Esperanza, in an old farmhouse on the Caqueta River. We can get a squad of Colombian commandos with one of our advisors there in a few hours.
Good.
We've got to keep the flights going until they get there. Otherwise, they'll be going in blind.
How many hours?
Sir, you just told the committee...
I just told the committee we have a moral obligation to fight drugs and violent revolutionaries. I hope it doesn't alarm you, Carl, but I actually believe that. Get that son of a bitch. You need the planes? Use them.
Esperanza's place is shaping up to be a nice little vacation retreat. We could use a little more detail on the eastern wing.
Base to Bravo 1, retransmit radar imagery, east end of house.
Roger that.
How are we doing?
Ground team's 20 minutes out. Planes are pulling a layout of the house. They'll get us thermal imagery with FLIR.
Pac-Man.
Let's swap a thermal. Where's the bedroom? Looks like Esperanza's got company.
Ah, those romantic jungle nights.
What are you doing?
This area's restricted.
I know. I come down here all the time. Tate Brothers Mortuary. You're about to cut open my stiff.
You can have Mr. DeLong when I'm done.
Suit yourself, but, that ain't DeLong. That's McKeon. His family's upstairs waiting with my wagon.
DeLong.
Go ahead. What's the worst they could do? Sue you?
Sorry I'm late. Admin sent this guy to physical therapy by mistake.
Who's he?
DeLong, Henry.
You two stay here while I get this straightened out.
Nice work.
Toe tags for the dead. So glad I went to art school.
Let's see how it looks from the front.
Operations. Mr. Reese, it's for you.
Reese. Carl, I'm hearing rumors.
Mr. Quinn.
Robert. I understand those troublesome planes are still flying.
Where did you hear that from?
I was DCI, Carl. I still have friends. I know Pierce told the committee the planes were grounded. If he committed perjury.
He said he'd issued the order.
But he didn't say when it went into effect. Listen to yourself, Carl. You're getting Weasley. Like him. I'm taking this conversation as confirmation.
Don't. Robert, if those planes are flying, it's news to me.
Over there.
15 minutes.
There's our guys.
Bravo 1 to base. Ground team is looking for an entry point.
We've got patrols of 2 cycling every 3 minutes in the back. Southwest corner looks like your best bet.
Roger that.
Operations. This is for the director.
Pierce?
Matt Callan for you, sir. Please hold while I connect to a secure line.
Yes, sir.
How many pairs of these do you think he would take?
Oh, no, men don't fold underwear. It must look like he bagged it.
I can't find a concealment area.
It's a difficult call, sir. If we take the briefcase, they'll know we're onto him, but we might find something in it, or we could leave the briefcase, and they'll stick with the plan.
We don't know what their plan is.
Or we might find out another way.
Or we don't, and we have uranium in terrorists' hands.
Yes, sir. It's your call.
It's 8 minutes. We mustn't be here.
Leave it. We'll find another way.
Close the case. The driver's pulling up outside.
It's like he was having a drink.
No, autopsy will show no alcohol. Give me one of your cigars.
They're Cuban.
It's the way it was.
What is it?
I don't know. There's some resistance. I need a knife. Yes.
Camera. Good job. Now him.
Right at the next corner. Avoid doorway on left. Bogey's inside. Bogey's at 9 o'clock. Repeat. Bogey's at 9. You're clear.
They got him.
Ground team, you are clear to exit. Repeat, you are clear to exit.
Ground team is clear of compound. Heading to extraction point.
DEA is going to claim credit for the arrest. But it was us. We did it.
Yes, sir.
I got a call from Capitol Hill an hour ago. Senator Howell is convening a public hearing inviting me. It's come as you are. He's providing the rope
We're
for the
going
lynching.
live now to Arlington for a statement from Mrs. Jennifer Stewart.
A terrible thing happened to my family this morning. I lost my husband, and I lost my son. The instruments of their deaths were the Colombian Air Force and the Central Intelligence Agency. But only God himself gives and takes life. My husband was a Christian missionary, and so am I. We believe we are doing God's work, but we don't presume to explain God's ways. We saw up close the evil that drugs bring to the people we serve. The killings, the corruptions of the soul. We are thankful to all the men and women who fight that evil. I cannot tell you why God claimed my husband and my son, but I know it would be wrong to stop the fight against drugs because he did. for then their deaths would have helped evil prosper. I thank you for your prayers. God bless you.
Did Hazley make that happen?
I don't know. But Hallett's gonna have a hard time stringing you up after that.
This isn't over. The video will come out. At least we got through the day.
We?
Quinn called you. Didn't he? I would have.
Yes, he did. He wanted to know if you had perjured yourself about the flights. I told him no.
What's this?
Phone number for Russell Orland, Casualty Affairs Officer, retired. Start with him.
For what?
About your brother.
Bet the Lions yet?
No, but I will. I'm feeling lucky.
Yes, sir. President will see you now.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce Carl Reese.